before we say anything about the work that we're doing, we just want to say some thank yous. First of all to Amy. Actually, where is Amy? Hiding. You knew I was coming. Amy, thank you ever so much. It was actually Amy's idea. She came up with the idea of gifting her shop to us for 2 weeks whilst she's about to go away on holiday, which is very courageous of you. And allowing us to actually have an exhibition of our work here to explain my work as a lawyer, putting forward Ecocide law, and to explain the actual MissionLifeForce itself, our campaign to take Ecocide law forward. But also there are a number of other people that we do want to thank here. I think Ruth, there you are, taking photographs, and Andy as well. So here we are, the two with the cameras. The beautiful backings, the photographs you're seeing around you here are either Ruth's or Andy's. And in fact, I think do we have something explaining whose is whose? Yes, oh yes, but this is it, so lovely. So on here you can see, and it explains the credits, who's done what, and of these photographs. But it's given us the opportunity to have this absolutely fantastic backdrop to explain a little bit about what we're doing, because it's really rather hard to explain what we're doing in a way that's creative without people saying, oh, it's just law, this is really boring. We don't think what we're doing is boring at all, do we? And we found that people around the world are really engaging in this in very creative ways. And it's just lovely. I mean, some of the creativeness that's happening is here tonight. Emily's there. Emily's done the wonderful drawings, illustrations on the windows in the back and here on the doors and the front. Thank you so much, Emily. They're absolutely fantastic. But also, we have to say thank you to the most incredible creativity here from Katie. Katie Dunn has created these beautiful horses, and there's a hare there as well. And the horse that's hanging behind you,
at the back,
leaping out into the world. These are actually for sale. So should any of you be interested in buying them, please do let us know. Some of the proceeds are going to assist us as we move forward with what we're doing. So maybe we should talk a little bit about what we are actually doing. Most of you will know, but some of you I know have come here not knowing terribly much. So my starting point was 12 years ago when I started to engage with how do we create a legal duty of care for the earth. How do we create a law that can protect the earth? And 8 years ago I presented into the United Nations Ecocide to be an international crime to stand alongside genocide, to criminalise extensive damage and destruction or loss of ecosystems. Now, when I proposed that in, I had no idea where that journey was going to take me. And as I had to explain to my bank manager a few years ago, when she said, hey, Greg, hello, hi guys. When she said, Polly, when are you going to get back into court and make lots of money? I had to explain that it was too late, that life is long gone, and now I'm on a completely different journey. And it's a very exciting journey. It's been a process throughout 8 years of legally advising on it, of getting to a point of recognizing that there was a space to create a campaign around this, to help fundraise for the smallest islands, the small island developing states that really are at the front line, if you will, of climate change. They must require the law of ecocide. Climate ecocide is an everyday existential humanitarian threat for them. Tuvalu, for instance, is just 2 meters above sea level. So for them, they're living daily with the threat of ever rising sea levels, floods, tsunamis, and so on. And this is a terror that's now living in their lives. In fact, someone's just unfortunately had to go who spent her childhood in the Pacific on a boat. And she told me when I first met her that when she was first over there, she grew up with these beautiful children in Tuvalu and Vanuatu, where they were living in paradise. But when she went back as an adult some years ago, the next generation of children are living with huge levels of anxiety, not knowing whether or not they'll be able to live on their tiny islands for that much longer, and seeing their land, their way of life, their houses being destroyed on quite a regular basis. So these tiny islands are the ones that are most adversely impacted by climate change. They also have the least amount of funding to actually finance their lawyers and delegates to come forward to take a law of ecocide forward into the International Criminal Court. And so that's really why we cooked up the idea to put in place MissionLifeForce. So, Jojo, over to you about MissionLifeForce.
So MissionLifeForce is essentially a movement, a growing movement, and steadily growing as we go, of earth protectors. And it's based on a legal document. And that document is the Earth Protectors Trust Fund document, and there's a whole panel about it here. What it enables is it enables anyone, anywhere in the world, to sign up as an Earth Protector by helping, and by doing so, helping to fund those small islands who can take forward this legal procedural route to have ecocide made into an international crime. And it's like a step beyond a crowdfund and beyond a petition, because when you're signing up, then you're gifting in funds, but you're also making a statement by signing up to this document. You're stating that you believe that to destroy ecosystems, to destroy the peaceful enjoyment of Earth's inhabitants is a crime, both morally and legally, and should be a crime. And you're also making a declaration of love. You're also saying that actually you believe that all life has value, and that we have a profound moral sense that we must protect that. And so you become an earth protector. And so there's this sense that can kind of manifest in different ways. This is not a legal document that obliges you to do something in a way that people often think. And often we find that people are actually a bit afraid of the idea of a legal campaign, because they think, my God, what am I signing up to? What does this mean? Actually, signing this document, which you do online, doesn't oblige you in any way, financially, legally, or in any other way. What it is it makes a statement. It gives the funds in because it's a trust fund document, so it's about gathering funds. But it makes a statement that you, as a matter of conscience, as a matter of your moral sense of what is right, that you believe that the earth must be protected, and that has weight in a court of law as well. So it means that those who stand up to protect their communities, their natural communities, their human communities from ecocide, as an earth protector, are able to use this as well as a statement of conscience. They're able to hold that up in court and say, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, this is why I want to prevent this. As you'll all be familiar with those who refused to go to war, the conscientious objectors, who perceived the harm and wanted no part of it. Well, we're working with that same narrative, because now we're seeing harm happening, and actually the action of conscience is to stand up and prevent that harm. So it's one step further. It's like, I'm seeing this as a harm, and my conscience will not let me not act. And that act could be anything from, I need to talk to people about what's happening. It could be, I'm going to sign up as an earth protector. It could be writing to a parliamentarian to give your opinion. There are so many different ways that you can act from that conscience. For some people, it will literally be putting their bodies in the way of an ecocide, and they're the people that can directly use this document as a defence in court. But all of us can, act from that conscience in our different ways.
Yeah. Maybe just a little bit about how, when we launched this in November, we pushed it out, and partly out of desperation, because I was about to go in December to New York, to the United Nations. Every year the International Criminal Court holds a meeting. It's called the Assembly of State Parties to the Rome Statute. And we pushed it out, and within 3 weeks we'd raised enough money to pay for 7 delegates 7 representatives to attend that meeting, which was really fantastic. And we had lawyers there as well, a forensic expert, a senior international judge, who all came in to help assist over a period of 2 weeks, legally advising and also making representations and speaking at this big event. It's an annual event, and that was hugely successful. It was really fantastic, and on the back of that, we now have other meetings that are going to be kicking in probably about May time. Every year in December is our big time. So the pot, if you like, for all of our trustees, and you'll see the first 1,000 are listed there, and there are quite a few of you here, your names are up there, you should find them. Oh, who was? Thanks for coming. And so it was very exciting because we actually managed to achieve, in fact, far more than we had anticipated. And it was a very exciting couple of weeks, which is leading on to many more levels of engagement that will happen later on in this year, and leading up to then the next Assembly of State Parties, which will be held in The Hague in December. So that is a pot, if you like. We call it the pot of gold, where the funds that are received from the trustees are helping finance the delegates, their legal assistance, and literally to pay for their flights, their accommodation, their food, so that they can attend these meetings. Because when you have rising sea levels and floods and so on and so forth, actually financing delegates to go to New York or to The Hague is one expense too far. When you're having to rehouse hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, maybe 2-3 times a year at the going rate of climate disasters. And so we're helping finance all of that. We have a separate pot that actually is to fund us. Jojo and I currently are working pro bono, and we have a huge amount of people who have helped us in many different capacities, volunteering and assisting. And one of the reasons why we're hosting this here for 2 weeks is that it gives us a golden opportunity to talk to people about what we're doing and to invite them in to give us assistance. So if you know anyone who has a lot of money who would like to help us, please do let them know. I'm kind of joking, but actually also this is about engaging people who care about what's happening to our Earth. And this is a law that we know can be taken forward very fast. We just know that it requires a little bit of financial assistance to really get it up and running, and we'll be off. So it's very nice, it's very exciting. We have this here for a couple of weeks. Come talk to us, and we'd love to share more information about it. You can go online, you can sign up.
Yeah, we'll be here. There's a computer, the laptop here where you can come and sign up tonight if you haven't already. It's very quick, just debit or credit card.
What actually is the process that makes it law?
Yep, very good question. So this requires a head of state, representative or a head of state, to propose it into the International Criminal Court, into the Assembly of State Parties. It's any country that's already a signatory to the International Criminal Court. There are 124 countries that are signatories. A lot of these small island developing states, these little dots that you're seeing here, quite a lot of them are already signatories, so they can propose it in. And what we're wanting to see is maybe a group of them taking it forward and proposing it as a group block, which would be very exciting. So this is actually, as soon as you do that, the ball rolls very, very quickly. A draft proposal is put forward. Once that's agreed, then it's just simply a matter of it's tabled and it's accrual of signatories. Once you get to a 2/3 majority, then it makes it into international crime. So this December in New York, crimes of aggression was finally signed off. It came to the 2/3 majority. It had enough signatories and it got to that point. And in fact, from the proposing of crimes of aggression to it actually being tabled was just 2 years. So it's a very fast process that's used there.
And I mean, one of the beauties of this approach is that it's a very simple legal procedural route which sidesteps business completely. So it sidesteps industry and it sidesteps the big economies, because in the International Criminal Court all the states have an equal vote. your small island carries the same weight as the UK or France.
Trick or treat.
So that makes it very doable in a way that many other solutions are not. If you contrast that with say 23 years of climate negotiations, which hasn't taken us very much further towards what we want, because it's a big kind of businesses and big politics and all of this, and sort of hammering out lots of little details of something that actually can't be enforced anyway, like the Paris Agreement, which is wonderful in terms of acknowledging that we know that this activity creates this pollution and so on, but it doesn't actually enforce anything. So it's a wonderfully simple route that sidesteps all the things that make those things difficult, like big business and big politics. So that's why it's really exciting. It's also why, once this group of small islands actually makes this announcement, potentially actually says publicly that this is what they want to take forward, there's going to be pushback, as you can imagine. So what we really would love is that by the time that happens, we don't know exactly what the timescale is going to be, because it could be next year. What we want to have in place by then is a huge grassroots level of support. In other words, a huge number of earth protectors signed up to this, so that when that announcement is made, it can't be swept under the carpet, because it will be visible. It will be visible by all of those people. It will be protected. So it's really important at this stage for it to spread as much as possible. So the biggest ask is for people to talk about it amongst their networks, and to get more and more people to sign up as earth protectors, because the more of them that do that, the safer the arena into which those heads of states can step. So I would really urge any of you that haven't signed up to do so tonight. And also, if you want a little bit more information about, for example, our funding situation, that bit panel at the back in the last section is all about that.
We're very engaged with them. We got ourselves very informed about how the Bernie Saunders campaign was put in place and how that operated. That was done on a shoestring, had to move very fast. And if any of you were in Nailsworth yesterday and heard Josh Monbiot speaking about that, it was very interesting how actually it just came a bit too late. If they'd had another 4 or 5 weeks, it would have been a very radical different outcome, because it was exponentially moving very quickly. And we're very keen to see how we can take out what we're doing and empower others to run with this in many different ways. So Jojo and I have just come back from Spain, where one of our team took us out there. She spent 25 years living in Spain, and we spent 5 days basically skilling up a whole group of people who are now going to take this out into Spain in a very big way, which is very exciting. And we want to engage in that kind of more modern way of how you take messaging out, very decentralized, empowering others to run with this in their own way, and seeing how we can help mobilize this. Because it's a kind of epic David and Goliath ask, if you think about it. Tetbury is one thing, but the world is another. And actually, we all have the capacity to do this. Unlike 15 years ago, we are all engaging in social media in one way or form or the other, and the ability to help share this and take it forward. So if there's anything that you can do, is actually just help assist us by spreading the word. Take some leaflets, take some documents, hand them on to others, have that conversation, or just drop them off somewhere where you think others might pick them up and engage with it. We're here for 2 weeks to have some really great conversations.
So invitations to this exhibition, so on to the until the end of the month, and also lots of these little pocket-sized, sort of just tiny little summaries of what the campaign's about. So very easy to carry in a pocket, easy to hand out. We've got lots of them, so do take them. And if anybody has very sort of more specific questions about the campaign, I would urge you first of all to grab one of those sets of headphones and watch the little animation, if you haven't done that, because it really encapsulates it very succinctly. Or just grab Polly or I over the course of the evening if you've got any specific questions. So.
And enjoy the cupcakes.
And the chocolates.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariska. Thank you, Amelia.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah.